What's happening, everybody? Thank you so much for tuning into this video today. If you did click on this video, and thank you for doing so, of course, you may have noticed that typically I don't talk about stuff like this. And normally you're expecting Montreal Canadiens content of any kind, but today's a little bit different. I wanted to do something different because, as we know, the Montreal Canadiens season is coming to an end. And frankly, there's not a ton to talk about right now until we start to get into the offseason, start to prepare for the draft lottery and the NHL draft, and then eventually free agency. So, and of course, in between that, the Stanley Cup playoffs, which the Montreal Canadiens are very much not in. But today I want to talk about something different. And that is something that kind of is inspired by the Hockey Guy by Shannon from his channel, because he likes to have these frank, honest conversations with his viewers and subscribers and potentially new subscribers. And I thought today would be kind of a neat opportunity to take the small little bit of success that I've had on YouTube talking about hockey, specifically the Montreal Canadiens. Can you tell which team I talk about mostly? But I wanted to offer 10 tips or things that can hopefully help you with your YouTube channel if you're a newer YouTuber, or even if you're not. The whole point is to share something valuable for you, the viewer, whether you're a longtime YouTuber or not, specifically talking about hockey in this particular niche, but also it can apply to any realm, any niche on YouTube, in my personal opinion. This is a lot of the stuff that I've learned, and I'm going to go through it for you guys right now. 10 things, 10 tips. Make sure you stick around until the end, because I do believe there will be some value here for you. This is from firsthand experience from me still being a relatively new YouTuber, about 2 to 3 years doing this. So here's some of the stuff that I've learned, and I would like to pass on to you guys in hopes of you having similar success or whatever your goals and dreams are on YouTube. Let's talk about it. So my keys to success on YouTube, and I'm going to be doing a lot of reading because I wanted this to be clear, to the point, to give you value so that you can walk away with something, hopefully, from this video. So thank you again for tuning in. So I have it as number one, and this is not in necessarily a particular order, but establish your why. Why do you want to do this? Why do you want to talk about hockey on YouTube or any other subject on YouTube? I do this because I love the concept of being able to make videos about anything you want, in this particular instance, hockey, and being able to connect with people through the video medium. And a big reason for that is because I love people. I'm outgoing. I'm an extrovert. I'm a people person. So I genuinely love connecting with people. And this is another way that I get to do that, just me and the camera, me and you, the viewer, and in a way that hopefully is somehow able to connect through this, through the barrel of the camera down to you, the viewer. So I love doing it. I love talking to people, I love communicating, and also sharing in this passion about the Montreal Canadiens and hockey specifically. It's great to share the passion. Number two, energy, focus, and commitment. I got to give a shout out to one of my acting brothers and instructors, Eric Jedry, somebody in Niagara here who I've acted with, who actually I did a play with years ago, and we really put on a show, et cetera, et cetera. But energy, focus, and commitment. These are things that I've actually brought to my YouTube channel. Energy, I've tried to talk with energy so that I'm not boring you to death over there. I'm actually talking with some gusto a little bit, some energy, something that will keep you entertained, hopefully, and just also keep you watching. So energy, focus on the subject matter that I'm talking about, commitment, showing up to YouTube and showing up and making videos when you maybe don't even feel like it, when you're tired, but the audience is craving it, and it's a good time to release a video that it could do well. So I would say those three things. Do it because you genuinely enjoy doing this. If you want to do YouTube for a living, as I am working my way to doing, at least for one part of my living, make sure your passion is firmly established first, and that you see yourself doing this longer than 3 to 6 months after the initial buzz and motivation and drive wears off and your videos aren't performing as well as they may have used to in the beginning, potentially. So look long-term also. Don't just look short-term, hopefully, because, if you want to do this for a while, you want to be able to stay committed to it, but you also want to do it because you want to be there. If you stop wanting to be there and doing this, then you're not going to want to stick around. But also look ahead to make sure that you have long-term goals and not just short-term goals for your channel. If you want 10,000 subscribers and you want all these views, those are great goals. It's good to have those benchmark goals. But if you don't have shorter term goals, like getting your first 100 subscribers or first 1,000, it's going to be harder to reach those bigger milestones, because it is a lot of work, and you got to be willing to stick around for those results to come, and you got to get the first results first. It's not about you. This is a big one for me because I've had to learn this big time. The YouTube channel, creating a YouTube channel talking about any subject at all, it's a service. you're serving the audience. This is not just about you. And of course, you're doing this for yourself. You want to enjoy this. People aren't going to show up to watch you if you're not enjoying what you're doing. So you definitely want to make sure that you like being here when you show up and hit record on the camera. But you also want to make sure that you're serving the audience first. They come first before you. So I would say this is one of the biggest ones for me. It's not about you, it's about the audience. Put yourself in your audience's shoes. What do you think they're interested in terms of video ideas? What title and thumbnail concept idea would grab your attention as a viewer? And make sure that you want to click on the video. Like what kinds of things make you want to click on a video, and what draws your interest? What makes it a clickable title or thumbnail? I would say that my thumbnails specifically are probably my biggest weakness. I don't have the graphic design gift or skill to be able to manufacture these great thumbnails sometimes, but when the subject matter is there, it's there sometimes. So I'm fortunate that way, but eventually I'd like to up my thumbnail game if that's one area of improvement for myself. Talk about subjects you believe your audience and you care about. If you don't care that much about the audience and the subject matter, they can tell, of course. Let the content create itself. So sometimes, it's easy as a hockey YouTuber because a trade happens and boom, you have your content. People know what to expect when they go on YouTube. They're looking for reactions to a trade or to a signing, or, this is specifically in the area of hockey as well. The Montreal Canadiens draft Uri Slafkovsky first overall. That's a shocker. Well, that was my most successful video on this channel, was the fact that I was pushing for the Montreal Canadiens to draft another hockey player named Shane Wright. They did not select him. They selected this other guy from Slovakia. So my thumbnail was naturally shocked. The title reflected what the video is about, and the interest was there not because of me. It was because of the subject matter. It was because people genuinely wanted to see what somebody's reaction was to what was a bit of a surprise, a shock. The content kind of created itself. It wasn't necessarily me that came up with this brilliant idea of, I'm going to react to the Habs selecting Uri Slafkovsky first overall. It happened, and I just had to react to it, but the interest was very, very high. So it was the YouTube algorithm, which I'll probably have to do another video on, but the YouTube algorithm served up that video to a lot of people because there already was interest in the subject matter. It wasn't Drew Dekes, it wasn't Andrew here that came up with this brilliant new video concept that no one ever heard of. A lot of people were reacting to the same thing, but the content was already kind of there. So you have to let the content create itself. When it comes to being a hockey YouTuber, you do that by allowing these things to happen, and then you just give your take on them. So, and then try to get it out there as soon as you can, and also get to the point. I probably should mention that too. Don't keep your audience waiting 3 minutes into the video before you actually get to the main subject matter. Try to get to it, and I'm trying to get better at that myself still. Be yourself. There's only one you. Don't fall into the trap of comparison. So this is part of the reason I wanted to create this video, is because as a Montreal Canadiens YouTuber, it's very easy to fall into the trap of comparison because there's a lot of us. There's a lot of us that do this thing, man. I mean, nowadays especially, it just keeps growing and growing, and that's a good thing. It's not a bad thing. So don't try to get too much into the competitive realm, although you are in a competitive field by having, you want to get your videos viewed more than others. That's fine. Like it's healthy competition can be a good thing, but don't fall into the trap of comparing yourself to the others that are achieving more success than you. It'll drain you and suck the joy right out of you. And that's not good. So make sure your motives are clear and your reasons why you want to do this are clear enough. Focus on your goals. Don't just compare. I mean, you also want to study other YouTubers. I would say that studying other YouTubers I highly recommend, because that's how I've learned to achieve some measure of success on here, is by studying others that are doing the similar things that I'm doing. So that's how I would clear that up. Be okay with being wrong and be willing to make a mistake. Be willing to look like an idiot. It's how you grow. Be willing to have a take that is so off base that all you get is, trash comments. I mean, big deal. Who cares? I mean, you're not going to be best friends with everybody, right? That's the other thing too. Like, you're not going to, go for coffee with every single YouTube viewer. Of course, you're not going to go to coffee with most of them. But I would say just be okay with being wrong. If you have an opinion on something, share it. Your opinion can change. My opinion changes a lot. I'm flexible. That doesn't mean that I don't have my own opinions, but certainly people will challenge me, and that's fine. Just be okay with being wrong. Be willing to make yourself look like an idiot. Laugh at yourself. Don't take the comments too much to heart. They're just comments. They're just people on the internet that don't even really know you. So just kill them with kindness in return if you have to, which I'll get into that more later as well. Don't put all your eggs in one basket financially when you're investing in your YouTube channel. Make sure people are enjoying you and your content first before you start pouring out a ton of money into your videos. Quality can't cover up authenticity. So just show up with your iPhone, show up with your Android camera, whatever you have, whatever audio. Make sure you have decent audio. That's a tip I've always tried to take to heart, is make sure you have decent audio, because people want to be able to hear you. And if the video quality is not that great, the lighting is not that great yet, that's fine. Make sure they can hear you and see you relatively well, so that it's not too much of a distraction, and then start there. Don't worry about production right in the beginning. Just start recording videos and make sure that you're enjoying what you're talking about. That's the main thing. Make sure you enjoy what you're talking about. That's how I started. I was fortunate to start with some production in terms of a backdrop, a little bit of lighting, but it was an iPhone camera. That's what I started with. And then I went to a webcam, which was not a huge upgrade and only about $100. And then it went to a more expensive camera here a couple years in. All right. So that's the don't put all your eggs in one basket. Number 8 here. Don't feel like you have to post content. So don't feed into the content creators out there that want to post every day. By all means, do it. I did it for a while last year to help grow the channel to get where it is now, where yes, it is monetized, but now I don't post every day. I post only when I genuinely want to talk about something. I genuinely want to make a video about something that I care about and that I think the viewers are going to care about. So, you know, if you want it in the beginning, just go for the grind and just put out videos every day. Just make sure that you beware, and I didn't put this in the top 10, but I should have, beware of YouTube burnout, because I've gone through it a couple times already. And I got to say that taking a break is really healthy and really necessary. Catch yourself before you fall into the trap of getting so hooked on making daily content that you burn yourself out mentally. You lose all your energy and drive for doing this, and then you just stop. And you don't want to do that. If this is something you really want to do, make sure your mental health, you got to keep your mental health intact. I'm still working on that also, but I have gotten a lot better. So trust your instincts. If you think if you think a video is something people really want to watch as soon as possible, like a reaction video to a trade or a signing or a draft pick, in the instance of hockey, then do it if you're able. Don't stress yourself out if you can't react to a video right away. I've done that before. I can't get a reaction video out until several hours later. I'm at work or I'm at a family gathering or whatever it is. I mean, if you're able, you want to shoot a video, when you're away somewhere and still upload it from your phone, you can do that. Just make sure that, you're giving it your best and you're okay with the fact that you're not going to have it be as top quality as being in your little studio like I have here. Just put it out there. Put it out there because you think the timing is right. Timing is also a big key to success on YouTube, is making sure that you're putting out videos when people are actually searching for them. And that's, of course, when a trade happens in the instance of hockey or a signing, draft pick, et cetera, et cetera. So let the content create itself once again. So trust your instincts. Listen to your gut. If you think that it's going to do well, put it out right away. If you think you have time, make a better quality video, use some editing if you want to, and put it out later when you can put a better quality product out there. I would say your audience will appreciate that more. I've noticed that too. Number 10, engage with your viewers. Thank them. Yes, sometimes you can ignore them. And I mean that in the sense of when you're getting troll comments or just negative comments that you don't know how to respond to, or that are sort of getting to you mentally. You can ignore comments. You don't have to respond to every single one of them. I try to respond to as many as I can. Sometimes I just can't get to nearly as many. Sometimes I have time and I just respond to like every comment on a video if I'm able. You'll notice that I do that sometimes if you watch my channel. But sometimes also you can ignore comments to me. You don't have to respond to everybody. You don't have to have an opinion. You don't have to answer to people if you don't want to. It's your channel. So make sure to respect yourself enough that, you don't owe anybody necessarily. I wouldn't say you don't owe anybody anything, but you don't owe people an answer if you generally don't have one or don't want to give one. You don't have to. Or send them a private message on Twitter or email or whatever, if you just feel like doing it publicly isn't something you're comfortable with. So you don't have to respond to every comment or every et cetera. I kind of went through this. You can ignore them and move on and kill them with kindness, man. I mean, like, I've had comments come my way that I'm just like, you know what? I'd rather not argue. I think I just appreciate being on YouTube and talking about my favorite hockey team. I'm going to kill people with kindness. It seems weird to say that in a sentence, but it is kind of one of the old sayings I learned in school. So just be kind, like Robin Williams always said, right? Be kind always. You don't know what people are going through. So be sure to be considerate of the fact that you don't know everybody on YouTube, and the things that they say may not be so nice, but you can ignore them. They have every right to comment, and you have every right to ignore them. So Make sure that if you're responding, you think about it first. Don't say something you're going to regret later. I don't curse and I don't swear on my channel. I don't curse and swear in my general daily life. Not like I used to when I was younger. I've changed. That's just a personal choice. So I keep that language out of my videos, and therefore I think it reaches a wider audience, as YouTube has shown me. So, think about that kind of stuff too. Anyway, this was a longer video than I expected. I hope that you got some value out of it. If you did, please let me know down in the comments below. I would appreciate your feedback. I went through it relatively quickly, but go back and watch again if you think it would actually help you. And I don't take for granted whatsoever that you would tune in and watch this. So I really appreciate it. And I hope that you got some value out of it. There's probably more things I could have put on the table here for you. But if you're starting out as a YouTuber, specifically talk about hockey or whatever, about the Montreal Canadiens as well, which is what I do, then I hope this made some sense and that some points were made that you can take with you and have some success on your own channel, and whether you've been a YouTuber for a long time or not. So I appreciate you taking the time. I do. This is Andrew, aka Drew, signing off. If you did like it, feel free to hit the like button and subscribe if you enjoyed it. And I will see you guys on the next one. Appreciate it once again. Thank you.